The world turns, the light and the dark meet, and for a brief moment they stand as equals. This is the equinox, a time when the heavens whisper balance, yet also stir hidden forces within the human heart. Many think of this day as nothing more than a calendar mark, but in the ancient teachings, it is a doorway, a passage between what has been and what is yet to come. In Shaolin tradition, balance between yin and yang is not simply a symbol, it is the root of strength, clarity, and mastery. When day and night stand equal, life itself reminds us of a secret: without balance inside, power cannot grow. After this equinox, signs will appear, signs not written in books or spoken of in crowded halls, subtle shifts that reveal the true direction of your spirit. One of the first signs is an inner pull, almost like a quiet gravity, urging you to restore harmony in your life. You may feel it as restlessness or as a sudden need to simplify, to center, to realign. These are not coincidences, they are signals of transformation. Stay with me until the end of this teaching, because each of the 8 signs I will share carries a hidden key to self-mastery. Some are challenging, some may even unsettle you, but together they reveal a path that few ever walk, the path of awakening through discipline, patience, and awareness. You are not here by chance. If these words reach you now, the journey is already calling. Welcome, my friends, to Shaolin Soulfire. I am Shi Heng Yí, and I invite you to walk with me through the wisdom of the ancients. Join us and subscribe, so you do not miss the guidance that strengthens the soul. There comes a moment when the noise of the world feels heavier than before, yet the silence within begins to grow stronger. This is not ordinary silence. It is not the absence of sound, but the presence of something deeper. After great cosmic shifts, many discover this subtle change. The voice inside becomes clearer, more insistent, as if it has waited for this exact time to be heard. In Shaolin life, we are taught that stillness is not weakness. Stillness is not emptiness. Stillness is power. When you sit in silence long enough, you begin to sense that the world continues to move, but you no longer move with its chaos. Instead, you see with sharper eyes. You listen with greater care. You feel with a heart that is unclouded. The old masters often withdrew into the mountains, not to escape the world, but to meet it more deeply. In solitude, their breath became their teacher, their heartbeat, their companion. They discovered what many overlook. In silence, truth rises to the surface like a lotus through the mud. If you find yourself suddenly seeking solitude now, it is no accident. This is the sign. You may notice an urge to close the door, to walk alone, to turn off the endless noise of voices and screens. You may crave reflection without distraction, and quiet clarity that feels more nourishing than conversation. This call to solitude is not isolation. It is an invitation to rediscover the strength that waits in stillness. When you honor it, you do not lose connection to the world. You return to it with a sharper mind and a calmer spirit, carrying the power that silence has gifted you. There is a saying in the Shaolin temple: the hand that clings cannot strike, and the heart that clings cannot be free. From the first days of training, monks are taught to let go of unnecessary wants. It is not an easy lesson, for the mind loves to grasp at comfort, at recognition, at the illusions of control. Yet mastery is never found in grasping. It is found in releasing. When the equinox passes, a subtle shift takes place. Old attachments, long hidden in the corners of the spirit, begin to surface. You may notice the things you cling to most fiercely, the habits you refuse to loosen, the possessions you cannot part with, or even the relationships you hold onto out of fear. These attachments are not random. They rise now because they stand in the way of your next step. The ancient masters would test their disciples by stripping them of comforts, a favorite food, a warm blanket, even cherished words of praise. All were withheld. At first the disciple would suffer, feeling deprived. But in time, something greater would awaken: the discovery that strength does not depend on what is held, but on what can be released. This season carries the same lesson. Notice what makes you restless when it is taken away. Notice what you defend most when threatened. These are the chains. They are not enemies, but teachers, showing you where your spirit has not yet learned to stand free. The path of mastery is not about gathering more, but about carrying less. Each time you loosen the grip of attachment, a new space opens within you. And in that space, discipline, clarity, and inner peace take root, stronger than anything the world could offer. Freedom is often misunderstood. Many believe it means doing whatever the heart desires, whenever it pleases. But the Shaolin path teaches a different truth. True freedom comes only through discipline. Without discipline, we are slaves to impulses, chained by cravings and moods. With discipline, the mind becomes steady, and the body follows like a loyal companion. In the temple, this principle is lived each day. The gong sounds before dawn, and the monks rise while the world still sleeps. Their bodies ache, yet their minds are firm. Through countless repetitions of movement, through hours of meditation, the body learns to obey the mind. It bends, it endures, it grows stronger, not because it wishes to, but because the mind has chosen the path of mastery. After this equinox, you may feel the same pull. Perhaps it comes as a sudden desire to wake earlier, to train harder, to sharpen the edges of your daily life. Old habits that once felt comfortable may now feel heavy, even wasteful. The energy of this season does not reward laziness. It pushes you to refine yourself, to rise above the weight of old patterns. This is the sign, a call to discipline, not as punishment, but as liberation. Each small act, choosing the morning silence over an extra hour of sleep, choosing nourishment over indulgence, choosing practice over distraction, becomes a step toward freedom. The ancient masters understood that discipline is not harshness, it is devotion. Devotion to becoming more than the scattered impulses of the mind. Devotion to aligning with something higher. And once discipline takes root, life itself feels lighter, because every choice is guided by strength, not weakness. In that steadiness, freedom finally reveals its true face. When balance shifts in the heavens, balance shifts within us. The equinox does more than divide day and night. It also stirs what lies beneath the surface of the mind. Desires that were quiet may suddenly grow louder. Longings you thought forgotten may press forward with unexpected force. This is not a mistake. It is the season uncovering what you have not yet faced. The Shaolin masters teach that desires, when unexamined, hold more power over us than fear itself. Fear may stop a step, but desire can command the whole path. Left unnoticed, it leads the mind, like a hidden master, whispering what to chase, what to cling to, and what to sacrifice. This is why mindfulness is the great lantern. It shines into the hidden corners where desire hides. After this equinox, you may feel cravings stronger than usual, perhaps for food, recognition, comfort, or even conflict. These impulses rise like waves, demanding attention. The sign is not the craving itself, but your sudden awareness of it. In that awareness lies your chance for mastery. The monks once told stories of students who trained for years in discipline, yet fell easily when their hidden desires were touched. Some longed for praise, others for wealth, others for affection. The master would say, "It is not the mountain that defeats you. It is the stone you carry in your own pocket." This season offers you the same test. Do not fear the rising of desire. Watch it, study it, understand it. When you see clearly what you crave, you are no longer its servant. In that seeing, the grip loosens and discipline returns. Each desire transformed into awareness becomes not a chain, but a teacher guiding you deeper into freedom. In the ancient halls of the Shaolin temple, breath is considered the first teacher. Before movements are perfected, before the mind is steadied, one must learn to breathe. For in both Shaolin and Taoist wisdom, breath is not simply air entering and leaving the body, it is the bridge between the physical and the spiritual. Each inhale gathers energy, each exhale releases what no longer serves. Through this rhythm, body and spirit meet. After the shift of the equinox, many become more sensitive to this hidden bridge. The simple act of breathing, once ignored, begins to draw attention. You may notice how shallow or hurried your breath has been. You may feel a quiet pull to pause, to breathe deeper, to sense the movement of life within you. This is no small thing. It is the sign of awakening to your own energy flow. The masters speak of qi, the vital force that breath carries. When you breathe with awareness, qi moves more freely, bringing clarity to the mind and strength to the body. In silence, the monks would sit for hours, following the breath as if following a river. With each cycle, distractions fell away, and a deeper calm rose. This season may awaken that same awareness in you. Perhaps you feel restless until you slow your breathing. Perhaps a moment of conscious breath eases your worries more than words ever could. This is the body reminding you of its wisdom. To be sensitive to breath is to touch the essence of life itself. When you breathe with steadiness, the mind grows quiet. When the mind grows quiet, the spirit expands. And through this bridge, you discover that mastery does not begin in effort, but in the simple, sacred act of breathing with awareness. In the rush of the world, many mistake speed for strength. Yet the Shaolin path teaches that mastery is not measured by how fast one moves, but by how steady one remains. A flame that burns too quickly consumes itself, while a flame that burns steadily can endure through the longest night. The monks often walk with deliberate slowness. Even when the distance is far, their steps are calm, their rhythm unbroken. This practice is not about reaching the destination quickly, but about arriving with the mind unscattered and the spirit whole. To walk slowly is to train the heart to resist impatience, to remain present in every step. After this equinox, life may place tests before you, moments designed not to challenge your strength, but your patience. A delay that unsettles your plans, a conversation that stretches longer than you wish, a goal that refuses to ripen as quickly as you expect. These are not accidents. They are mirrors, showing you how steady or restless your spirit has become. Patience is not weakness. It is a higher form of discipline. It is the ability to remain calm when the world demands haste. It is the wisdom to understand that growth unfolds at its own pace, like the opening of a flower. No force of will can rush the petals into bloom. The sign you will notice is how your heart reacts in these trials. If frustration rises, it is a signal that more steadiness must be cultivated. If calm remains, it is proof that the teachings are taking root. In this way, patience becomes both a shield and a teacher, guiding you to walk not faster but farther with the quiet power of true mastery. When energy shifts in the world, it rarely moves in silence. Often, it appears most clearly in the space between people. Relationships, like mirrors, reflect the state of our inner being. The Shaolin masters remind us when the self is in harmony, harmony flows outward. But when the self is divided, the same division is felt in every connection. After the equinox, you may notice sudden changes in the way others respond to you. Old conflicts may rise to the surface, or clarity may come as if a veil has been lifted. Someone you once tolerated may suddenly feel draining. Someone you overlooked may reveal unexpected depth. These changes are not random. They are signs of where your spirit truly stands. In Shaolin practice, students are taught that every encounter is a form of training. The master would say, do not fight the person before you. Fight the impatience within you. Do not resist the harsh word. Resist the anger it awakens. In this way, relationships became the field where discipline and awareness were tested. When you meet conflict during this season, see it not as punishment but as a teacher. Notice how quickly you react, or how calmly you hold your center. If clarity appears, perhaps the end of a bond that no longer serves you, understand it as the natural flow of energy, clearing space for growth. The sign is simple yet profound. Your relationships will reveal your inner state more honestly than your own thoughts often can. To master the self is to bring peace into every exchange, even when others cannot. When harmony is found within, it naturally extends outward, and even the most difficult encounters become opportunities to walk the path of mastery with grace. The journey of mastery often begins inward, with the training of body, mind, and spirit. Yet the Shaolin masters remind us that mastery is never meant to remain locked within. Strength without service is incomplete. Discipline without compassion is empty. True self-mastery naturally flows outward, touching the lives of others. The equinox. a moment of balance between light and darkness, awakens this truth in subtle ways. As the world finds harmony for a brief time, you may begin to feel the weight of your role in the balance of those around you. Suddenly, even the smallest choices, your words, your tone, your presence, carry a sense of responsibility. What once felt private now feels connected to a greater whole. In the temple, a monk's training was never only for himself. The endurance of the body and the clarity of the mind were cultivated so that he could serve his brothers, his community, and even strangers who sought refuge. A single act of discipline, rising before dawn, controlling one's temper, choosing kindness over anger, became a gift not only to the self, but to everyone who crossed his path. This season may bring that awareness closer to you. Perhaps you feel called to guide, to support, or to protect in ways you had not before. Perhaps you sense that your patience steadies others, or your silence creates space for their healing. These are signs of responsibility awakening within you. Self-mastery is not about withdrawing from the world. It is about returning to it with greater strength and deeper wisdom. When responsibility is embraced, not as a burden but as a calling, the path becomes clearer. Every small act of service becomes part of something larger, echoing far beyond the self, carried on the rhythm of balance and harmony. Many look to great shifts in the world with fear, believing they signal an ending or an escape from what is known. But in the deeper teachings, such moments are not endings at all. They are transformations. The rapture, as some call it, is not about leaving life behind. It is about rising into a clearer way of living, shedding what no longer serves, so the spirit may grow lighter. Shaolin wisdom speaks plainly: let go, and you rise. Hold on, and you sink. This truth can be seen in every aspect of life. A clenched fist grows weary, while an open hand remains ready to receive. A rigid mind breaks under pressure, while a flexible mind bends and survives. The art of release is not weakness. It is the hidden strength that allows one to move with the flow of life. After the equinox, you may notice a call to trust in what cannot yet be seen. Plans may shift, doors may close, or paths may twist in ways you did not expect. The sign is not in the uncertainty itself, but in your growing ability to rest within it, to breathe, to trust, to move forward without clinging to what was or demanding to know what will be. In the temple, disciples were often led into the unknown, dark halls, long journeys, silent retreats, without explanation. Only later did they understand that the lesson was trust. Trust in the path, trust in the discipline, trust in the unfolding of life itself. So it is with this season. Transformation asks for surrender, not resistance. When you loosen your grip on certainty, you do not fall, you rise. And in that rising, you discover a freedom that was hidden behind fear, waiting for the moment you chose to trust. The equinox reminds us that great change does not begin outside but within. The 8 signs are not warnings to fear, but invitations to grow, guides that call you to restore balance, to embrace stillness, to walk the path of discipline and patience. They show that harmony with others begins with harmony in the self, that true responsibility is an act of service, and that detachment is not loss, but freedom. When these signs appear in your life, welcome them. Do not rush them away, and do not cling too tightly. Instead, breathe with them, reflect on them, and let them shape the way you walk each day. This is how transformation unfolds, not in a single moment, but in steady steps of awareness and practice. The rapture, the shift, the awakening, it is not something to wait for. It is already happening in the way you choose to live, think, and act. And when self-mastery takes root, fear fades, leaving only the quiet strength of a spirit at peace. If this teaching has spoken to you, let it guide your days ahead with calmness and clarity. And if you wish to walk further with us on this path of wisdom, balance, and inner fire, we invite you to like this video and subscribe to our channel, Shaolin Soulfire. Together, may we continue to grow in strength, stillness, and harmony.